If trading really is as simple as it looks, buy low, sell high, and the markets drift up over time anyway, then why doesn't everyone just do it and get rich? It's a fair question, and it deserves an honest answer. Because, on the surface, trading looks like the easiest opportunity on earth. There's no boss, no commute, no degree required, no interview, no permission. You can start with a couple $100 from your phone, sitting on your couch, in your pajamas. The same charts the professionals use are right there, free, for anyone. And over the long run, the market has generally gone up and up and up. So the pitch practically writes itself. Click a few buttons, be patient, get rich. How hard could it possibly be? And yet the data is brutal, and it's remarkably consistent. Study after study, broker report after broker report, all say the same thing. The large majority of people who actively trade lose money. Most of them quit inside their first year. Only a small fraction ever reach consistent profitability. So we're left staring at a genuine paradox. If it's this easy, and the tools are free, and the market goes up anyway, why does almost everyone who tries walk away poorer? The answer is not what most people assume. It has almost nothing to do with intelligence, or a secret indicator, or needing a fortune to start. The real reasons are hiding in plain sight, 3 of them, and the moment you can see them clearly, you'll understand exactly what separates the tiny group who make it from the enormous crowd who don't. So let's take them apart, one at a time. The first reason is the strangest, because it sounds backwards. Trading fails so many people precisely because it looks so easy. That ease is not a feature. It is the trap. Think about any other skill that pays this well. To become a surgeon, you train for a decade, and nobody hands you a scalpel until you've earned it. To fly a passenger jet, you log hundreds of supervised hours before you're ever trusted with real lives. To practice law, or medicine, or engineering, you pass exams that deliberately filter out most of the people who attempt them. Every serious, well-paid profession has a gate, a long, difficult road that forces you to build the skill before the world lets you do it for real. Trading has no gate, none whatsoever. You can go from downloading an app to risking real money in about 10 minutes. No training, no test, no supervision, no one checking whether you have the faintest idea what you're doing. And here's the problem. Because nothing forces you to learn first, almost nobody does. People jump straight to the part the professionals spent years earning, the live trading, with none of the skill that's supposed to come before it. Picture being handed the controls of a jet 10 minutes after deciding it might be fun to fly. That is precisely what most people do with their savings the day they open an account. That famous low barrier to entry isn't a gift at all. It's the single biggest reason the failure rate is so brutal. And there's a second, quieter cost to that missing gate. Because nothing forces people to take it seriously. Most simply, don't. They treat trading like a scratch card, not a craft. Something to dabble at between other things, with money they've never really thought hard about losing. A surgeon can't dabble. A pilot can't dabble. But a brand new trader dabbles by default, and the market charges a very steep tuition for it. The second reason is something psychologists call survivorship bias, and it quietly poisons your entire picture of what trading even is. Here's how it works. Open any social feed and look at trading content. What fills the screen? Winners. Screenshots of enormous green profits. The kid who turned $500 into $50,000. The rented Lamborghini? The beach? The smug? If I can do it, anyone can. It's absolutely everywhere. And your brain does something quietly dangerous with all of it. It assumes that this is normal, that this is simply what trading looks like. But you are only ever seeing the survivors. You never see the graveyard. You never see the millions of accounts that quietly blew up and vanished, because nobody films a video called, "I lost my rent money and deleted the app." The losers go silent, the winners get loud, and they get an algorithm that rewards them for being loud. So the entire impression you soak up is filtered, hand-picked, to show you only the people who happen to win, while the vastly larger crowd who lost stays completely invisible. You end up comparing your real, messy, ordinary results against a curated highlight reel, and quietly concluding that something must be wrong with you. And that comparison does something corrosive to you over time. Every time you scroll past another win you didn't get, a small hit of envy and self-doubt lands. You start to feel like you're behind, like everyone else cracked a code you somehow missed. So you take bigger risks to catch up. You abandon your own plan to chase the returns you saw on your screen. And you make exactly the desperate, emotional mistakes that empty accounts. The highlight reel doesn't just distort your expectations, it actively nudges you toward the behavior that makes you lose. And it runs deeper still. because some of those so-called winners won on nothing but luck. If millions of people flip coins, a few will hit 10 heads in a row and feel like geniuses. In a market with millions of participants, some will ride a random hot streak that looks exactly like skill, right up until the market quietly takes it all back. On top of that, a whole industry exists to sell you the dream. Gurus who make far more money selling courses about trading than they ever made actually trading. Survivorship bias, dressed up and monetized, convinces you the game is easier and far more certain than it has ever actually been. Which brings us to the third reason, and it's the one that stings. In trading, for you to win, someone else generally has to lose. Most honest work isn't like that. A plumber, a coder, a teacher, they create something of value, and they're paid for the value they add to the world. Trading is different, in a way people rarely stop to think about. When you buy, someone is selling to you. When you sell, someone is buying from you. The money isn't conjured out of thin air, it's transferred from one account into another, which means the moment you sit down to trade, you are not playing a gentle solo game against some faceless thing called the market. You are in a live competition for real money against everyone else at the table. And who exactly is at that table with you? Enormous institutions with billion-dollar budgets, hedge funds that hire the sharpest mathematicians alive, algorithms that react in millionths of a second long before your eyes could even register the move, career professionals who have done nothing but this all day, every day, for 20 years. That is who sits on the other side of your trade. The market has been described as a machine for transferring money from the impatient to the patient, from the unprepared to the prepared. And when a total beginner clicks buy on a gut feeling, more often than not, they are simply handing their money, politely, to someone far better prepared than they are. And it's worth being honest about just how lopsided that fight can be. The fastest algorithms place their servers right next to the exchange, to shave millionths of a second off their reaction time. The biggest funds see research and order flow that will never once cross your desk. None of that means a smaller trader can't win. Plenty genuinely do. But it does mean you cannot win by playing their game, on their time frame, reacting to the same headline a fraction of a second slower than a machine. If you win by being patient and disciplined in ways a giant institution structurally can't be. But almost nobody enters thinking that way. They enter thinking it's easy money. So now the paradox looks very different, doesn't it? No gate to make you learn. A highlight reel that hides every loser and makes it look effortless. And a merciless competition against the most sophisticated players on the planet. Stack those three on top of each other, and that 90% failure rate stops being shocking. It starts to look almost inevitable. But here is the part that actually matters. The part worth staying for. Some people do make it. A small group genuinely pulls consistent money out of these markets, year after year, playing the very same game, against the very same institutions, with the very same free charts sitting in front of you right now. So the real question was never, why do most people fail? It's, what does that tiny group do differently? And the answer is almost the exact opposite of what you'd expect. The thing that sets them apart is not what almost every beginner assumes. It is not intelligence. It's not a genius-level IQ, or a finance degree, or some secret scrap of information nobody else has. Plenty of brilliant people lose everything in these markets, and plenty of perfectly ordinary people quietly succeed. The dividing line sits somewhere else entirely, and it's far less glamorous than most people want it to be. The first real difference is emotional control. And this is the one nobody wants to hear, because it isn't exciting, and you can't buy it in a course. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Finding a strategy that works is the easy part. There are good, simple, genuinely solid strategies given away for free all over the internet. The hard part, the part that quietly breaks almost everyone, is following that strategy when real money is on the line and every instinct in your body is screaming at you to do the opposite. When you're winning, greed leans in and whispers, hold on, squeeze out more, until the trade reverses and the profit evaporates. When you're losing, fear and false hope team up and murmur, just wait, it'll come back. Until a small, manageable loss swells into a disaster. Every calm, sensible rule you set on a quiet Sunday gets stress tested at the exact moment your brain is drowning in adrenaline. The people who make it are not the ones with the fanciest strategy. They are the ones who can actually execute a simple, decent strategy without letting fear and greed grab the wheel. And it's worth understanding why this is so hard, because it isn't a character flaw. The very same instincts that once kept our ancestors alive, run from danger, grab the reward while it's still there, are quietly catastrophic in markets. Cutting a winner early feels like locking in safety. Holding a loser feels like avoiding pain. Both feel completely reasonable in the moment, and both are exactly backwards. So the skill was never about having no emotions. It's about building a process, rules decided in advance, position sizes kept small enough to stay calm, that lets you act correctly even while your gut is begging you to do the opposite. The second difference is that the winners genuinely have an edge, and the overwhelming majority of people never do. An edge simply means a real, tested reason to believe that your trades will, on average, make more than they lose across a large number of attempts. The professionals have run their approach across hundreds or thousands of trades. They know their numbers cold, their win rate, their average winner, their average loser. The typical beginner has nothing remotely like that. They enter on a feeling, on a tip from a stranger in a chat room, on an indicator they've never actually studied, on a whim. That isn't trading. It's gambling with extra steps and a nicer app. And the market treats a gambler exactly the way a casino treats one, warmly and very profitably. Without a real, tested edge, no amount of confidence or hustle will save you, because the math itself is quietly tilted against you on every single trade you place. So what does having an edge actually look like in practice? Honestly, it looks boring. It looks like taking one specific setup, testing it across a few hundred past examples, and writing down what actually happened, how often it won, how big the winners were, how big the losers were. It looks like a spreadsheet, not a crystal ball. And once you've done that unglamorous work, you get to trade with a quiet kind of confidence, because you're no longer hoping. You're executing something you've already proven has a slight edge, over and over, and simply letting the math play out across enough trades for it to matter. The third difference is patience, not with a single trade, but with the process itself. And this is where most people quit, usually right before it might have started to work. Think, one more time, about any real profession. Nobody expects to be a competent surgeon after a fortnight, or a fluent pianist after a month. We simply accept that a hard, valuable skill takes years to build. But because trading looks so easy from the outside, people expect to be profitable almost at once. They give it a few months, they lose money, as very nearly everyone does at the start, they decide they're just not cut out for it, and they walk away. Or worse, they blow up the account chasing a quick recovery. The ones who make it treat trading as exactly what it is, a real skill or a small business that takes years of screen time, honest review, and slow, grinding improvement to get good at. They expect the early losses. They keep their position sizes tiny while they're still learning, so those losses can never be fatal. They journal every trade, they study their own mistakes without flinching, and they compound their skill patiently, the same way everyone else is so desperate to compound their money. And be realistic about the timeline, because this is where the honesty really matters. For most people who eventually make it, we're talking 1 to 2 years of consistent effort before things genuinely click, sometimes longer. Not a weekend course, not a month on a demo account, years. The oddly good news is that the time passes anyway. 2 years from now, you'll either have 2 years of real, reviewed screen time behind you, or you'll have quit and told yourself it was all a scam. The people who make it simply refuse to quit during the exact stretch where everyone else does. Notice what all three of those things have in common: emotional control, a tested edge, patience with the process. Not one of them is about being smart, or being rich, or getting lucky. Every one is about temperament and discipline, the boring, unglamorous, deeply unsexy stuff that no highlight reel will ever show you. That is the actual secret, and it hides in plain sight precisely because it's so dull that nobody's tempted to sell it to you. And here's the strangely hopeful part of all this. Every single one of those three traits is learnable. You weren't born with emotional discipline, or a tested edge, or patience. Nobody is. They're built, slowly, through reps and honest review, by anyone willing to do the unglamorous work. Which means the door isn't actually locked to ordinary people at all. It's only locked to people looking for easy money, and those, it turns out, are almost always the very same people who won't do the boring work to earn the not easy kind. So, should you even try? That's a fair thing to sit with, and I'm not going to pretend the odds are warm and cozy, but here's the honest framing. The reason most people fail is not that the game is rigged beyond all hope. It's that they walk in carrying none of the three things that matter, expecting easy money, and they're gone long before they ever build them. If you walk in instead, with your eyes wide open, treating it as a skill to build slowly, risking only money you can genuinely afford to lose, guarding your account above every other priority, and working on your own psychology as seriously as you work on any strategy, then you are already doing what the overwhelming majority never do. You're quietly playing the long game, in a room full of people playing the lottery. And to be completely clear, because this genuinely matters, none of this is a promise that you'll win. Trading carries real risk. Most people who try it do lose money, and this is education, not financial advice. No one can honestly guarantee you profits, and anyone who does is lying straight to your face. The point of this was never to hype you up. It's to hand you the real, unfiltered picture, so that if you do choose to walk through that door, you go in prepared instead of blind. Because the people who start out clear-eyed about how hard this actually is are, ironically, the ones with the best odds of ever beating it. If you want a genuine head start on the fundamentals, risk, position sizing, and how to build a simple plan you can actually follow, the free trading guide is linked in the description. Go and grab it. It's the stuff almost nobody teaches you until after you've already lost your first account. And here's where we go next. We've covered why most people fail, and what the rare few quietly do differently. But there's a decision that comes even before all of that. One almost nobody thinks through honestly before they start. Which market should you even be trading? Because stocks, foreign exchange, and crypto are not the same game, and picking the wrong one for your life, your schedule, and your personality sinks people before they've placed a single trade. So the very next video breaks that choice down, plainly and honestly. I'll see you there.
Hey everyone, today's sponsor is WEEX, a global crypto trading exchange where you can trade hundreds of cryptocurrencies, use futures and spot markets, and even copy expert traders, all from one secure platform. If you want to check it out, the link is in the description below. Thanks.